Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about another credit card that most people might not have used because the way it works. But it's one of those credit cards that gets a high multiplier, especially when we're talking about cashback setups. Of course, this is a thing that's been happening since last year. Like for example, the other day, the credit card from Wells Fargo Attune that gives a 4% back in specific, very unique categories that you might sometimes need a specific credit card from co-brands in order to get those bonifications. The issue is, at least with Wells Fargo, you can transfer those points towards hotels or flights. But in this scenario, we're going to be talking about the US Bank Shopper Cash Rewards credit card, which is different, of course, it's very different and very unique. I'm not going to say this card was really making a lot of sense for a lot of people, but it was one of those little things that if you really are interested into it, you might as well get it. But I'm not gonna say it was the best car right there. But let's go talk about this car just to have a little bit more knowledge. For example, this car was a car that you had to pay $95 for annual fee. Thankfully, the first year was waived, so you don't have to pay for it. The benefit about this credit card was the fact that, of course, was a 6% in two categories that you would choose. Well, not categories, but stores that you would normally buy constantly, and you would get 6%. This card was a Visa signature, so you could use it anywhere that you wanted, most likely. Also, not the accept credit card, no. The issue with this 6% is that it had an annual limit, 6,000 combined. But at the same time, there was an issue. An issue was that it had a limit every quarter of 1,500, which if you don't spend 1,500 completely during the first 3 months of that specific quarter, that means you're leaving money on the table. This other credit card that looks very similar to this card that we can compare later on. Not just that, but like it says over here, it does comes with 3% category. Unfortunately, it's only choosing one. And this will apply into hotels, gas, electronic vehicles, bills, and utilities. So it's 2 6%, 1 3%, and everything else it will get a 1.5 cashback. Alright, if we were to worry about which 6% stores we're talking about would be Ace Hardware, Apple, Amazon, Anthropology, Bed Bath & Jones, Best Buy, Chewy, Crate & Barrel, Disney, Home Depot, IKEA, Kohl's, Lowe's, Lululemon, Macy's, Menards, Nordstrom, Pottery Barn, QVC, Restoration Hardware, Target, Walmart, Wayfair, and Williams Sonoma, to mention some. Because I think I saw other ones, but I don't remember. But those are the ones that are mentioned in their wallet. As you can tell, most people were mostly motivated to get it for Walmart, Target, maybe some of the hardware stores like Home Depot, like Lowe's. Potentially, these people were getting it for Disney, but not for sure. A lot of people getting it for Amazon and Walmart, just to mention some. Because yes, it's true that Amazon had their own card, 5%, and Walmart nowadays has a 5% credit card. You are part of the Walmart Plus membership and those kind of stuff, and you have the credit card. But like I said, you have to buy and obtain their own specific co-brand credit cards, not like one that will cover different ones, right? Especially because you are able to change these stores when you want every quarter, from what I remember. The main issue, backtrack about this car, is the fact that yes, it charges you 95%, 95%, I mean, $95 annually. And the issue is that it doesn't have like a credits to reduce this $95 annually, like other credit cards do have. It is true that if you were to use the 3% category for wholesale clubs, that would be great for comparing it with other credit cards. For example, we compare Costco or Sam's Club, you will get normally like 2% base. You will get a 2% credit card normally to work in wholesales because we know wholesale is really not a category that credit cards in general tend to use. And if anything, Robinhood Go Car 3% would do the trick. But then again, this one does 3%. So it's like, is it really worth it or not? I would see, I do see the sample for some people, but most of the time maybe it did not work out. Of course, when we compare it to other cars that is of course right here noted, the Blue Cash Preferred for Americans Plus is another card that the first year was waived as well. It's a 95 annual fee too. It has two categories which earn 6% cash back. One versus groceries with a 6,000 limit, which is the same limit from the other card. The only issue or difference with this card is that it doesn't matter if you wanted to use everything in the first day of the card, or you can wanna like spread it along the whole year and spend those 6,000s. Those 6,000s are free to grab whenever you want, compared to 1,500 every quarter. So that is the best part about that. Of course, this is only traditional groceries, so no wholesales, no Walmart, no Target, to mention some stores that the other card do cover. And it does have a 6% in subscriptions, stream services, where it is unlimited. And if you know how to use specific one stuff to actually use this like a lot of money and not use subscriptions, then you can maybe get the allowed money 6% back. You know how to use it properly. It does have again a 3% category cashback, but this one instead of only being only one that you can choose, this one gives you different options. For example, it gives you gas station in US, it gives you transits, it gives you parkings as well, so that comes into the transit categories, and that's more than one option, right? And everything else would be only 1% compared to 1.5. So you can kind of see similarities and differences. The main issue that you can compare with the shopper card is that this one, even though it's a 95 annual fee, the shopper card does not have credits. But this one, the Blue Cash Preferred, it does have up to 10%, not 10%, but up to $10 every month in Disney subscription services. So that is will cover about Disney package, Hulu, and SPNs, for example, and that would be 120 max per year. So if you are really into this type of services, you could get a $25 back just for having this card by itself. Of course, you can kinda get the little brother, the Blue Cash every day, that's completely free, and you still get $84 for free. So that is might be a little better option if you're really into the Disney credits. But as you can tell, in this one, you're getting actually money back, $25, while the other one, you have to spend $95, and you have to spend money in order to try to make that differences back. So it's like, is it really worth it? Having that limitation, having that in your fee that you know you have to spend money in order to make sense. And the thing is it really make sense to spend in this car instead of just having a 2% car or going for the Robin Hood 3% credit card? I'm not sure. But like I mentioned, a lot of people were to get this car that unfortunately, as you can see in this page, you're not able to see no more. You see the smart car, you see the shell, the split, the cash plus, the attitudes that you can see over here, and that's it. So it's not showing up no more. So that's really the main concern about this car. That a lot of people were grabbing this car just like you can grab the Smarty or the Shell, for example, and they were probably changing that car after the first year because, like I said, the first year annual fee is waived, and then you start paying after the second year forward. So they were getting that car, get as much spend as they want, and since they don't want to spend money on the annual fee, they will probably change it towards the Cash Plus. So they have another car that is completely free, and it will give you 5% cashback in two categories of your choice. So similar concept, but different categories because the other ones were two specific stores. This one is two specific categories that will cover different stores. So that is really what's going on. So does this car going away makes the difference or not? Of course, we don't know yet. It's kind of brand new that this car went away, so we don't know if it's gonna get nerfed. They're gonna change the 6%. We don't know if those people who have this car are eventually gonna have to change it for something else, or they're gonna be fathering, grandfathering into the fact that they can still have this car and use it, but it's not open to new applications anymore. We don't know anything because, like I said, it's new that this change happened, and I don't know what you guys think regarding this car. Do you think this car didn't make sense? Do you think that the fact that maybe not a lot of people were using it as to make it profit for them was the reason why it was kicked out of the market? Even though yes, we have the Cash Plus, that is almost maybe ripping off you expect more than what is the Chopper Core, but who knows to be honest. But with this, I hope you guys you can analyze the situation that we are now. That if you have the chance of going for one specific car, maybe you want to go now instead of maybe waiting for later in the car going away. Like remember, credit cards that we know we kind of like and went away is the City Custom Cash, it's the Wells Fargo Attune, it is the US Bank Chopper Card, and other cards that we know we're still able to use it for those people who have it. Unfortunately, it's not my case, so I do not have it. And except the City Custom Cash, I was able to get it and still get double cash and probably change it. So now I have two because I didn't want to touch City at all until later on, but I was kind of forced to. But now with this, I hope you guys can talk about it in the comments and see how much people really missed on this car. So with this, I hope you have a good day and thank you for watching. So bye bye.